Okay now.
Hello and welcome to Through Africa. My name is Mercy Bamingola, and today we are joining you again live from our studios here in Ankara, Turkey, to discuss the Sencon fair, which is set to take place in Senegal in 2025. The Sencon fair is scheduled for between 6 and 8 of February 2025. And to talk more about the essence of this fair, I'll be speaking with Soraya Amejud, who is the International Project Director at H Group. Hello, Soraya.
Hello. Thank you for having me once again to talk about Sencon.
Hello, you're welcome. You're very welcome. And thank you for accepting our invitation once again.
Welcome.
So let's talk about the preparation towards the Senegal fair. How has it been? How is the preparation? How is the H Group itself preparing for the program?
The preparation for the 10th anniversary, the 10th edition of the Sencon Expo are well underway, focusing on enhancing the experience for both our exhibitors and visitors. And this includes organizing logistics for delegations, curating a diverse range of exhibitors, and also ensuring that the event showcase innovative products and solutions across key sectors. H Exhibition is working closely with local partners and stakeholders to ensure smooth operations and meaningful participation. Our sales team are also traveling everywhere to prospect and promote the event from North Africa to all West African countries.
All right, thank you, Soraya, for that introduction. So this fair is basically for Africans, in Africa, in Dakar. It's taking place in Dakar, Senegal.
Exactly.
Yes,
In Dakar.
in Dakar. Now, tell us about the goal of Sencon for African countries.
So Sencon aims to be a platform for fostering trade, innovation, and collaboration across Africa. Its primary goal is to connect businesses, governmental institutions, and stakeholders, enabling them to explore new markets, strengthen economic ties, and contribute to the sustainable development of the continent. The event also highlights Senegal's strategic position as a gateway to West Africa, promoting investment opportunities and showcasing local industries as well.
All right, you mentioned how important this is, and how that it is. We're talking about West Africa here because we also know that Senegal is a part of the region. Now, the local community in Dakar, Senegal, how are they being involved in the preparation of this fair?
Actually, the fair benefits the local community by stimulating economic growth, creating job opportunities, and fostering entrepreneurship. It also encourages knowledge transfer and innovation, contributing to the overall development of local industries and enhancing the region's competitiveness as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, do you have any recommendations of what to check out during the exhibition? Is there any specific, I wouldn't say stand now, but in general, what would you recommend that the participants check out?
As the 10th edition of the Sencon, this year's fair will be packed with value-added activities tailored for trade professionals. Visitors are encouraged to attend the workshops, panel discussions, and conferences which will be addresses key topics such as market expansion, technological advancements, and sustainable practices in trade and construction, infrastructure as well, and also renewable energies. The national pavilions are also a must-see at the exhibition, offering insights into each participant's country's industries, innovations, and investment opportunities. These activities will provide both practical knowledge and valuable networking prospects for both exhibitors and professional visitors.
All right, thank you. I picked the last thing you said there. You talked about, professionals and exhibitors. I'd just love to ask, is it just open to this set of people, or anyone can attend?
Anyone can attend. The attendance is free, of course, but we have professional delegations for B2B meetings that we organize for our exhibitors. And we also have as well delegations that come to visit from North African countries as well, and also West African countries. Some federations and associations will be accompanied by their delegation, professional members that will visit the exhibition for B2B meetings and also just to visit the exhibition.
All right, thank you, Soraya. So finally, the final question. How do you think the 2025 Sencon Fair differs or will differ from previous fairs?
The 2025 Sencon will feature a more global perspective with increased participation from international companies and delegations, as I said earlier. Enhanced digital tools will improve visitors' engagement, such as virtual tours, all in part matchmaking, B2B meeting systems. There will also be a stronger emphasis on sustainability with eco-friendly event practices and a focus on green technologies. The inclusion of more local businesses and cultural elements will further enrich the experience, making it more dynamic and inclusive.
Okay, thank you very much, Soraya, for coming on the show and spending your time and your knowledge with us. We do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me once again. Thank you.
Thank you. So with that, we've come to the end of this session where we've talked about the Senegal Fair, the Sencon Fair, which is set to take place from 6th to 8th of February 2025. Right now, we'll move to Turkey, where we still are in. We'll be talking about the agreement which was signed between Somalia and Ethiopia. We'll talk about the peace agreement and the summary of it, what this means for the African continent and what this means for Turkey, since Turkey is the place where it took place. And to talk more about this, I'll be speaking with Omar Abdi, who is a sociology student at Çanakkale 18 March University and also the president of Somali Students Union in Turkey. I also have with me Dr. Yasin Muhammad Ali, who is a doctor of social psychology, and Mr. Shikur Yesuf Wussen, I do hope that I pronounced that right, who studies international relations at Ankara Yildirim Beyazıt. Hello, and welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having us. Thank you very much for having me to this timely program.
All right, thank you very much, and you're welcome. So I'd like to start with, I'd like to direct each question to each of the guests, as I do have you on the show today. So, Mr. Shikur, I would like to ask you, what do you think is the significance of the signing of this agreement in Ankara? Oh, I think we lost Mr. Shikur there. Dr. Yasin, I'd like to direct the same question to you. What do you think is the significance of the signing of this agreement in Ankara, considering the fact that this is an agreement between two African countries?
Okay, thank you very much for just arranging this program, timely program. Let me first just give some brief introduction about the region, because our viewers may just have little knowledge about the region. This Horn of Africa is one of the most strategic places in the world. It is one of the most important trade routes in the world. Ethiopia and Somalia share 1,648 kilometers of boundary. It's one of the biggest in the world. Ethiopia, have the largest Somali population in the world next to Somalia, Maybe our viewers may not know this facts. You can have, more than 5 million of Ethiopian Somalis in Ethiopia, They are ethnically Somali, but they are Ethiopian citizens. It's more than 5 million. It makes, the Ethiopia the second largest Somali population in the world, next to Somalia itself. This is very important, When we come to the declaration, the Ankara declaration, it's not an agreement because the agreement will be, I think, will be finalized in the next February in 2025. But it is a good beginning. It's a very good beginning. I would like to appreciate Turkey and the foreign minister and the president of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan. They are just achieved a very good job because, these two countries have not a good past, between themselves. We have just, many conflicts for centuries, wars, displacements and the like. So it is a big and a very good beginning for the region, for the world. So that's why I think the Ankara declaration is very significant. No one was achieved before, that makes it very significant, Many countries, tried to negotiate these two countries before, but they haven't, achieved it. That shows, how much it is very difficult to just, make these two countries come together.
All right, there,
So,
Dr. Yasin.
what Turkey achieved is, very significant from this angle. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Talked about, how significant this is and how that, Turkey has done something that a lot of countries were not able to do. We'll still get into that discussion, but I'd like to hear from Omar as a Somalian, and I know at the same time you're the president of the Somali Students Union in Turkey. What would you say is the significance of this agreement, and especially in Ankara, for it being signed in Ankara, Turkey?
Thank you so much, Mercy. Thanks for having me again. It's really a pleasure for me to be here today. When we look this declaration, as the doctor said, it was an agreement, it was a declaration, it was a general understanding between two governments, and Turkey was meditating. It was really, really great, and it really have a huge significance for both country and Turkey. I want to go back a little bit, but when you look at the historic relation between Ethiopia and Turkey, between Turkey and Somalia, it's really huge. Yeah. When you look especially Ethiopia, it began from like the early 19th century till 20th century up to now. Yeah, I think it estimatedly Turkey have like more than 350 million investment in Ethiopia. There is more than 250 Turkish companies which were interacting in Ethiopian community. And Ethiopia also, as we know, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the president of Turkey, landmark it in Somalia in hard time, tough time, 2011 was tough time, and we really appreciate and thank him every time for that. He came that time up to now, Turkey invests Somalia more than 1 billion, and have relations in every side, military side, economic side, political side, humanitarian side, every side. So Turkey was the most suitable country which can meditate, which can take part this negotiation, and it will play amazing and big role, and it will win to, how we can say, to iron out the problem between the two countries. But when you look at historical events between Somalia and Ethiopia was a little bit tough. There was many conflicts between the two countries, and there's no any country who ever mediated Somalia and Ethiopia like this before and get this great success. We hope when the agreement finalized, we will discuss more and we will see the significances at that time. But now we can generally say Turkey become the peace role mediator of that region. Because of if Turkey did not play that role, I don't think there is other country who can play that role and can be the reason of peacekeeping like Turkey in that region. Again, we can say Turkey was the only friend that both countries can trust. Trust was the key for just such kind of big negotiations. So we can say it goes really big significance side of peace, side of economical interactions between the country and Turkey. Also, it affects the other external actors who wanna be a joint factor side of economic, political, military side in the region. So we can say it was totally great and achievement diplomatically for Turkey, and it was great achievement for Ethiopia because of, as we know, Ethiopia is a landlocked country. It's one of the most populated countries in Africa, all of Africa, and most populated in East Africa. They get commercial sea access. Also, Somalia have really need of political stability, and Ethiopia was key role of the regional political stability. And Somalia can gain big political, how can I say, oxygen or political stability for the sake of that and communicate if they really finalize in a good way.
All right, there. Thank you very much, Omar, for that great exposition. Now, I'd like to move to Mr. Shikur. I don't hope you can hear me. I do hope Mr. Shikur can hear me.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
First of all, I want to explain about the Ankara Declaration. Why two countries choose Ankara for their diplomatic cooperation and their agreement. Because, Turkey is the most important ally for both of Ethiopia and Somalia. If we look economically, Turkey has the biggest investment, Africa's biggest investment in Ethiopia. And secondly, Turkey also invests in Somalia, especially the port investment in airport, also in the seaport in Somalia. And also culturally, we bond because even during the time of Ottoman Empire, Turkish territories up to Red Sea, up to Yemen, and up to Somalia. We bond also not only economically, we also bond in cultural. That's why. And also nowadays, Ankara has become a diplomatic arena, not for only Ethiopia and Somalia, but also other different countries, like, for example, the Ukraine and the Russian crisis. They were mediated by Turkey also, and also Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Libyan crisis, and so many kind of crises. And that is why they choose Ankara as a diplomatic arena. Why 11 December Ankara Declaration is very important for Ethiopia and Somalia? Because Ethiopia is a landlocked country in this region. Most of our neighbors, for example, Djibouti, Kenya, Eritrea, they all have their own seaports. And the only landlocked country in this area is Ethiopia. And also we share a long distance boundary with Somalia. And when they become agree
this agreement, we have a big opportunity for both countries, for not only for Ethiopia, but also Somalia, because Somalia is very rich in seaport land. It's not only one, there are tens of ports in Somalia where we can develop. And also for Ethiopia, we have big alternatives in Somalia, because, you know, if you see trade routes, international trade routes, trade routes are crossed the Red Sea line. And the Red Sea line around this area, we import a lot of goods from China also and from Europe. For example, we have more than 9% of our import goods are imported from Djibouti ports. If we have an from Somalia, I think it's a good chance for us. For example, if we import goods from Chinese, Indian, and Far East countries, it is better to import from Somalian ports. That's, I think, a great idea for us. And also, when we see this agreement, yes, leaders are ready to react to the sovereignty.
Okay, I think we lost Mr. Shikur there. I'd like to move to Dr. Yassin. And then I want to ask, do you think this agreement, you've said that it's just, you know, a declaration and not signed into an agreement yet, but then when it gets to the agreement stage, when it's finalized, do you think it could serve as a model for resolving similar disputes, you know, especially regional conflicts, regional disputes, the agreement itself being signed by, being brought to fruition by a mediator? Do you think this would serve as a model for other conflicts that happen in the region?
Okay, of course. It will be one of the biggest models for the conflict resolution in the world, because, as I've said before, these two countries have a lot of conflicts in their history. They have not a good record of peace. So, if we just achieve good agreements in Ankara, I think it will be a very good example for the literature of peace and the conflict resolution theory also.
Okay.
It's very, very, very difficult region. I think it will be, achieved. It's achievable because, as the other hostess mentioned, Ankara is a genuine negotiator, equally distant to both countries, and have a trust of these two countries.
Okay, thank you there. I'd like to move to...
Trust.
All right, I'd like to move to Omar now.
Okay, yeah.
With the same question.
Okay, thank you.
With the same question. Could this agreement serve as a model that, other countries in the region follow in resolving conflicts and resolving disputes? We know that this region itself is one that has been for so long battled with disputes and conflicts. Now, this agreement, would it serve as a model for resolving other conflicts?
Yeah, definitely. This, if this agreement really finalized a good way, I'm sure and we believe it could be a good model for the regional conflicts and regional disputes. When you look now, there's a long history dispute between Ethiopia and Sudan, which happened in a border between Ethiopia and Sudan. Let's call it Al-Fashaq, I think. Al-Fashaq. They both militarized militia. It caused many deaths, it caused many drought. And I'm sure, for example, if this model of a negotiation work and finalize in a good way, also Ethiopia and Sudan can evaluate to use these footsteps. At the same time, also there is a dispute between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Also, there is a dispute between Kenya and Somalia. So we can say it could be really good model for the region. Also, Turkey now become a peace player, which really they play a big role for the world diplomatic and meetings, especially, for example, when you look like what's going on Ukraine and Russia, what's going on now Ethiopia. I believe it could be good model and Ankara could be good arena to resolve that dispute problems in the region and whole of Africa and whole of the world.
All right there, Omar. Now, I'd like to move to Mr. Shikur and ask specifically about, Ethiopia. How do you think Ethiopians are reacting to, this news?
Ethiopians were very happy because after Ethiopian war because we have population more than 100 people.
Oh, I think we had an issue with Mr. Shikur's sound there. I would like to direct that question to Dr. Wussen. I know you are Ethiopian, so I'd like to ask you, how are Ethiopians reacting to this new development?
It's a very good question. Access to the sea is very important for Ethiopians. Ethiopia is one of the most populated country in Africa, next to Nigeria. But what makes Ethiopia's economic development very difficult is we don't have access to the sea. Before 30 years, we have access to the sea through the present Eritrea. But after the secession of Eritrea from Ethiopia, we have lost, our access to the sea. So most of the Ethiopian people just suffer because of this lack of access to the sea. So the present declaration and the future agreement will, I think, give Ethiopia a very good access to the sea. And with the hope of this, Ethiopians are, just following this process very attentively, and they are positive, optimistic. The people are optimistic. Peace in the region will help both countries, because both Ethiopia and Somalia have a very big potential for economic development. We have many agricultural products. Somalia has a lot of access to the sea. It's more than 1,000 kilometers of shores. It's one of the biggest in the world. So if we could just, complement each other, we will, I think, achieve one of the biggest collaborations for economic development. Conflict will not just help both countries. So we are optimistic. The people of Ethiopia are optimistic to the present declarations.
Okay, great. The people are optimistic. Now, we've talked about Ethiopians and, their reaction to that. Let's move to the other end. Let's talk about Somalia. Omar, I would like to ask you, how are Somalians on the other end reacting to these agreements? And I would like to ask specifically about Somalians at home and Somalians in Turkey.
Thank you again. Really, if this agreement work, as now we see the communique, it will be positive, and people are all waiting. Whole Somali people are waiting the finalizing details. But now, all Somali people are really very suspicious, very curious about Ethiopia. Ethiopia was very greedy about the sea access process. As we know, Ethiopia and Somalia was really, there is a historic conflicts, wars, something like that. A couple of months ago, 1st January 2024, Ethiopia make MOU with Somaliland, which is part of Somalia, and that was really something impressive, something against the international law, something against the AU law, something against UNCLOS, something against everything, something against the, like how we can say, like neighborhood rights. And after that, Somali government before that was ready to give Ethiopia every time sea access, especially commercial sea access. Let me say this again: commercial sea access. We never talk about like naval base. We never talk about a place which belongs to Ethiopia. We talk about the commercial sea access, seizing or like how can we say like renting, just like that. Because that land belongs to us, belongs to Somali people. But now Somali people are really suspicious about Ethiopia after what they did in that MOU. So we can say we will wait when the agreement finalized and see the details. But now what we can say is there is no Somali person who trusts the greediness of Ethiopia and the need of Ethiopia sea access of especially like naval base. Now France is helping Ethiopia for navies and sea navy. I don't know, and all Somali people don't know the reason why Ethiopia are making like navies here. Why? What's the reason? Ethiopia is a landlocked country, but now still they keep making like navy. We don't know the reason, and that caused many suspicions and curiosity. So we can say we will wait the finalization, but now what we can say is after what in Ethiopia did in Somaliland, the MOU they made with Bihi, Mr. Bihi, the former president of Somaliland, there's no one who trusts. But we believe if it finishes as we see the communique from Ankara in 11 this month, it could be good for us and good for Ethiopia. And we was ready and we are ready and we will be ready forever to give sea access, especially commercial sea access for Ethiopia. They are our neighbor. They are very, like we can say, of a crowded people. Like we're ready to help them for sea access, but they have to stop the greediness and focus on economic relation. Focus on neighborhoods right keeping. Focus on like keeping international law and African Union law. So we are now a little bit curious, suspicious, but we will wait the finalization.
All right, there. Thank you very much, Omar. And I would like to also say a big thank you to Dr. Wussen and Mr. Shikur. We would have to end the program here because of our time. Thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And with that, we've come to the end of the live show today through Africa, where we've talked about the Sencon Fair, which is taking place next year in Senegal. And we've also talked about the peace treaty, which was signed in Ankara between Somalia and Ethiopia. It is still me, your host, Mercy Bamingola, and this is Through Africa. I do hope that you learned something from today's session, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.